I'm Catherine Grasso.
And I'm Nicole and Catherine.
Welcome to 1877 Cooking with Kids. Today we'll be talking about science.
Science? I thought this was a cooking show. What does science have to do with cooking?
Glad you asked. Science relates to cooking because of conduction, convection, and radiation. Those different ways of heat transfer will help us cook today.
What do each of those words mean?
Conduction is when heat transfers from one object to another. Convection is when heat transfers through liquids and gases. And radiation is when heat transfers through waves. I'll talk a little bit more about them later.
Let's get cooking. What are we making?
We're making brownies, eggs, and potatoes.
How are we cooking them?
To demonstrate conduction, we're going to cook the eggs on a pan. And to demonstrate radiation, we're going to cook the potatoes in a microwave. Then to demonstrate convection, we're going to cook the brownies in an oven.
I hope you guys like brownies, eggs, and potatoes.
Why does it matter? They won't be eating it.
Oh yeah.
Let's get cooking.
Here we have the potato and the eggs.
I'm going to put the potatoes in the microwave for 5 minutes.
Then I'll put the eggs on the stove for 5 minutes at medium heat.
While we're waiting for these to cook, let's talk a little bit more about conduction, convection, and radiation. So as I said earlier, conduction is when heat transfers from one object to another. The egg on the pan is a good example of conduction because when the burner is switched on and conducted electricity is moving from the transformer to the coils heat up and the black glass on the stove attracts heat to the surface, which then heats the pot on the burner. Then the heat is transfers from the egg to heat it up.
Convection is when the heat transfers through liquids and gases. To demonstrate convection, we will be cooking brownies in the oven. We are using an electrical oven which cooks the food slower because the heat is coming from the bottom, but some people have a convection oven which cooks the food faster because the air rises and circulates more.
The final way of heat transfer is radiation. Radiation is when heat transfers in waves. The microwaves bounce back and forth on the walls of the microwave, and when they reach the food, the microwaves make the molecules inside the food vibrate more quickly, which cooks it.
So that's how heat transfers in different ways, using food. We'll be back after the short break.
Here's how the eggs are turning out. Here's a video of the potatoes cooking in the oven. Here are the brownies cooking in the oven. And we're back!
Here's how the food turned out.
The food smells really good.
Just to recap, conduction is heat transfer from one object to another. Convection is heat transfer through liquids and gases. And radiation is heat transfer in waves.
Thanks for watching today's episode of
1877 Cooking with Kids! And be sure to tune in for next week's episode of About Dance Moms Fighting in the Kitchen.
It's gonna be really exciting.
I'm Nicole and Catherine.
And I'm Catherine Grasso.
See ya!